How's it going, YouTube? Oxy here, and welcome back. So, we finally got the news like a year later, a very long time after, but Elden Ring is truly getting DLC. I honestly didn't think it would happen, being how long this took, but that's great to hear because, in a sense, it's like it wasn't already made and then they're gonna sell it. Like, it sounds like they're really gonna put the time into it to build a true expansion. It got revealed through a tweet at 3 a.m. So all the Patrick memes, oh boy, it's 3 a.m. Miyazaki was like, let's reveal it right now. But it is officially called Elden Ring, Shadows of the Erd Tree. And all we have is a picture, and we know it's going to be coming not anytime soon, if I had to guess, truly. We're not seeing this thing, if it is to what I think it'll be, like in another year or two. Like, if it's going to be a massive expansion, which From Software never really disappoints, in my opinion, yeah, we're not going to see it for a while, unless they have been working on it, like, already. But if not, then yeah, it's going to be a long time. But, obviously Vadi, he's a lore master, so you can watch his video on his thoughts. But I just wanted to give my opinion on it, where I think it could go, because in the picture you're seeing, all we know is that we see Torrent, we see the Erd Tree, which is obviously now black or covered, and you see like gold coming out of it, which I do think is probably reference to like the Death Root, right? Like Godwin, I think, will play an important part in it. The community seems to agree the Torrent's rider is Mikola, right? I say they because similar to Queen Marika and Ragadon are like the same person, even though it's two, right? Same, Mikola seems to be that, like, it's sometimes he's referenced as a boy, other times it's given like feminine qualities. There's also like he has the alter ego of Saint Trina, which that's like his female form. So again, we don't know, but it's believed to be Mikola, who's also Torrent's original owner, speculated. And yeah, I think this DLC, so going back to Dark Souls 3, starting with it really, and then like Sekiro and Elden Ring now, FromSoft started a pattern which you may agree or disagree with. Let me know how you feel. So, and starting with DS3, my first Souls-like and my favorite game of all time now, so you had multiple endings, right? Which you do, and you've had, but what I always consider, there's one true ending, or like the secret ending, the ending that requires a much longer quest than all the others. Because the easy thing is like you link the fire or you don't, right? That's like the most cookie cutter ending you could get in that game. Then there's the ones with the Firekeeper, where you summon her and she takes it, or you kill her and you take it for yourself. But then there was the Lord of Hollows ending, which cool enough was my first ending, which obviously had to deal with Yuria, and like, you marry Henri, you take the Dark Sigil, and you bring upon you're the Lord of Hollows, right? Like, essentially the Age of Dark, or the Age of Man, because in Dark Souls it was all about like the gods, or these higher beings that had the Age of Fire, but they prolonged it and they were in charge, or like, yeah, and like you couldn't die. And with us, the Age of Man, it's like us, like a revolution, taking it back. And ever since then, I was like, oh, that seems like an ending. And I say I believe it's a true ending, just because when you get to the DLC for Dark Souls 3, Ashes of Ariandel, and then the Ring City specifically, in Ashes, we meet Yuria, who's a part of the Sable Church, right? One of the three sisters. You meet the eldest, Elfried, or Sister Fried, right? And at first, she's not hostile to you, because you enter a painted world of Ariandel, and you eventually fight her, of course. But if you do the Lord of Hollows ending in the base game, there's special dialogue, like, I forget her knight, but he has a cool black flame sword. I think it was, not Vic, I think it was with the O, the name escapes me, but but when you try to meet her, the doors close, and if you did that ending, he'll be like, "Oh, you're Uria's Lord of Hollows. Go back to her." Like the special dialogue, and I'm like, you don't go through that effort unless that ending meant something. So, and then similarly in Sekiro, there was like what you get like a tier. I didn't get far into that game, admittedly, but I was familiar with the endings where like there's like the Shura ending, the short one, right, where you fight Ishin very early and like yeah, that's like the bad ending. And then there was like the two where you get the individual tiers separately, but I know one of them is like the prince dies or like the rot in the world. Or you cure him or the rot, I believe. But then there's the ending where you get both, where you save the prince but also cure the land. I know it's like you get it from the divine dragon, which is a beautiful boss fight. Yeah, but similarly in Sekiro, that ending where it's like it took more steps. I'm like, okay, that's like your true ending. And in Elden Ring, I believe that would go to the Age of Stars, Ronnie's quest. Similar, just because the Frenzy Flame again is like the bad ending, and all the other four where it's like you become Elden Lord. That's your generic one. Then there's like the Dung Eater one, right, where you get the Rune of Pestilence. Fia, which I know I mentioned Godwin, you would think, which that one does. Each of these have a quest, but the thing is, all these endings are the same. Dung Eater, Fia. There's no special like cinematic, nothing. They just end like, oh, you become Lord and this happens. Like it's very slight differences to them. But Ranni's, you are essentially rejecting, just like in Dark Souls 3, the Age of Fire, you're rejecting like the Golden Order, right? The whole like thing about the Erd Tree, and you're starting a new age, the Age of Stars, right? With her. And yeah, so to me, the Age of Stars is akin to the Lord of Hollows ending, which I believe is like the true ending, the secret one, the one that took the most to get. And I believe in the DLCs, similar to Dark Souls 3, it will reference that or play into that. So Mikola, interesting enough, of course, he or she, I'll just say they are more associated with Melania, right? Arguably the hardest boss in the whole series or Souls-like games ever. It's more with that because they're all related, right? And the picture makes you wonder: does this take place in the past? Because Mikola currently is in an egg, right? Mo guards it, the Lord of Blood, but I don't know. It's like normally I'd be like, oh, this is in the past, right? Or we play flashbacks because, like Mikola in the picture, we don't even know if they'll be in the thing. We're just speculating. Is like a person. They're not like cocooned in some egg. But that's the thing is like, could this be another painted world or the equivalent in Elden Ring, like a dream like world? Because it does mention that Saint Trina, Mikola's alter ego, inhabits some type of like dream world or has like powers through that. So maybe personally, similar to the Ring City, which in that game goes way into the future at the end when you fight Gale, right? Again, the Dark Soul, the whole tying with like the darkness of man, Lord of Hollows. Um, I think this is probably far in the future. I mentioned Godwin because he was the first of the like Elden Lords killed, right? Of the Queen Marika and Godfrey's children of this like golden lineage. He died. He was killed by like the Black Knife assassins, and I just think that like Godwin plays a bigger role because when you go into the deep roots, like the bait right under the Erd Tree, you find out obviously there was a time before the Golden Order. Like I believe similarly Dark Souls, it's like an Age of Dragons, like Lord Placido has connections to that, right? And yeah, it's like Godwin is down there, his corpse, which is like mutated, and it's like affecting the Erd Tree. You can see like the roots are being mutated, like the Death Root, right? It's taking control. So I think he will play a part. Whether he's the big bad, I don't know. Very much could be. But it's also that. It ties into Shadows of the Erd Tree. We literally, what we think is the Erd Tree being like, again, covered. Or it seems like there's two trees, one wrapping around the other. Like it's infesting it, and that could be the death root. And we may have to put Godwin out of his misery, because the games are usually like there's no good endings. It's very rare for characters to get happy endings, so we may have to put him out to stop that, because he may want to like wipe the world. And then Mikola, I don't know, genuinely I don't really know how they would fit. I assume that I do know, if I'm not wrong, Mikola and Ronnie are what they say are Empyreans. I think Godwin's the other one. I could be wrong. There's only like 3 of them. So, yeah, will we go to space? I mean, the Age of Stars? Who knows? Or is that a reference to like dreams? Again, could this be a painted world? Yeah, I don't know, guys. But yeah, I just think following the Age of Stars, it's gonna be something involved with that canonically. I could be wrong, absolutely, but I don't know. Let me know what you think. But yeah, guys, Elden Ring, we are finally getting DLC. Who knows when, but it's exciting. I don't expect to hear anything for months. Like, earliest is like probably late summer, like Gamescom. I don't think at E3 or anything. Well, at the equivalent, because none of the big studios are going to be there. But yeah, Game Awards maybe like in December. But other than that, it's like who knows. But I'm excited. Elden Ring. It's a lot of fun. I love it. It's a good game. And yeah, if you like this type of content, I make new videos every Tuesday and Saturday. So please be sure to like, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell, all that good jazz. And as always, everyone, I've been your host Oxy. Take care, and I'll see you next time.